As a child, I was part of a complex economic system, which included hunting and gathering, scavenging, the black market, and both formal and informal cash-based transactions. We weren't very impressive hunters. We killed a few snakes and birds, but we never consumed them. We were much better at gathering. We ate blackberries, blueberries, black raspberries, grapes, apples, and wild chives. We scavenged building materials for tree houses and forts. When I was a teenager, drugs entered the black market, but as a child, we were mostly interested in fireworks. Salutes were the most versatile. They came in packets of 20. They were made in China, and they had names like Red Dragon and Blue Devil. We used them to make water bombs, mini cannons, and exploding crab apples. Alan Elby was our paper boy. He had one of the few paying jobs for children in my neighborhood. My parents liked him. They said, he has kind eyes. But I knew he was a vicious bully. One day, Alan said to me, "Burns, I'll give you a gross of salutes for $8. That was a great deal. A gross is 144 packets of salutes. To me, it was almost unimaginable wealth. I said, I don't got $8, but maybe I could save it up. My allowance was 25 cents a week, which I could supplement by returning bottles. So it took me about 2 months to get the $8. I told him, and he said, I'll meet you tomorrow, edge of the sandpits. Remember, $8 fucking, asshole. He wasn't the greatest salesman of all time, but he had a product that he knew I wanted. So I met him the next day at the appointed place and time, and he took the $8 and he counted it very carefully and he put it in his pocket and he gave me a paper bag with 10 packets of salutes. And I said, hey, Alan, you said a gross, that's 144. And he said, take it or leave it, asshole. And of course, I had to take it because he could have easily beat the crap out of me, and fireworks were illegal, so I couldn't tell my parents. There was also an unwritten code that kid business and adult business were entirely segregated. So I took the 10 salutes, 10 packs of salutes. I didn't even really enjoy them. I felt sick. I felt overwhelmed with sadness by this deal that had gone bad. I lived in Providence, Rhode Island from 1961 to 1974. And during that time, my neighborhood was essentially destroyed. Drugs moved in, more affluent people moved out. Eventually, there were deserted houses and fires. Was this all Alan Elby's fault? Sometimes I think so, but then I think, no. His actions, his betrayal of that childhood trust that if you say you're going to give a kid 144 salutes for $8, you'll give it to him. His betrayal was kind of a reflection of a greater societal betrayal, because in my neighborhood, which was dominated by a woolen mill, during my grandfather's time, it was possible, if you worked hard, to make a decent living. But as the woolen mill closed, as good jobs left, that became impossible. So, although I still think there is hope, I still think that it is possible to make a good living, a lot of things have to change. Thank you. I do have an addendum. Was anyone here last month when I told the story? Well, you'll notice that the last month's story was about 5 red Chinese dragons. And many of you, of course, noticed that there was a red Chinese dragon in this story, I'm sure. So I've decided to make that a tradition. So next time I tell a story here, I'll make a reference to this story. And it'll be, pretty simple to pick out if you're paying attention. For example, I might put Napoleon in next month or the month after that story, and you'll think, oh yeah, Napoleon in 1814 was on the Isle of Elba. And so you say, Alan Elby, Isle of Elba. And it'll all come together. I'll know you'll be looking forward to that. Thank you.